Blind dog crosses miles to find his owner. What happened next will inspire you. Before we begin, please subscribe to our channel. Your subscription means everything to us and is the only way these incredible stories of love and resilience often go unheard can reach more people. It helps us continue our mission of sharing these touching tales. So please subscribe now. In a small town, life moved quietly. Streets lined with familiar houses, but one home stood empty and cold. Inside, a blind dog named Max lay on a worn-out rug, his heart aching with the absence of his beloved owner, Sarah. Every day he listened to the echoes of the past, the laughter, the gentle whispers, and the rhythmic sound of her footsteps. But the laughter had faded and Sarah was gone. The world outside bustled with life, but Max only knew darkness. Yet, the love he felt for Sarah illuminated his world, driving him to seek her out. With each passing day he grew restless, his spirit yearning to bridge the distance that separated them. His other senses heightened. He memorized the scents of the town, the feel of the earth beneath his paws, and the distant sounds of hope calling him forward. One fateful morning, a sudden urge awakened in Max. He stood up, his heart pounding in his chest. The wind carried a familiar scent, a whisper of Sarah. He took a deep breath, and with determination coursing through him, Max embarked on a journey that would test his strength, courage, and the unbreakable bond of love. Little did he know, this would be a journey that would inspire everyone who heard his story. As Max stepped outside, the sun was already climbing high in the sky, casting long shadows across the quiet streets. He hesitated at the threshold, his heart pounding louder than the world around him. With a deep breath, he took his first step into the unknown. The ground felt different beneath his paws, harder, more unfamiliar. Each step was a leap of faith, a determination fueled by love. Shopkeepers paused in their daily routines, watching the blind dog with a mix of curiosity and concern. Old Mr. Thompson, the baker, squinted through his glasses. "Poor thing," he said, shaking his head. "What could he possibly be looking for?" As Max moved forward, his nose twitched, catching the scent of fresh bread and pastries. But he ignored the delicious aromas. His focus was singular, finding Sarah. Children playing nearby stopped their laughter and stared, wide-eyed. "What's it waiting for?" one whispered, tugging on a friend's sleeve. "Is he lost?" Max continued, weaving through the streets, guided by the faint memory of Sarah's scent. He passed the park where they used to play, the laughter of children echoing in his ears. He could almost hear Sarah's voice calling out to him, urging him to chase the ball. But today the laughter felt distant, a haunting reminder of what he had lost. As he approached the edge of town, the landscape changed. The familiar houses faded into open fields, wildflowers blooming in vibrant colors that he could only imagine. The sounds of chirping birds filled the air, but Max's heart was heavy. He was alone, yet he felt the weight of determination lifting him. Suddenly, a rustle in the grass caught his attention. It was a small rabbit darting across his path. Max instinctively froze, the instinct to chase igniting within him. But then he remembered Sarah, her gentle touch and warm embrace. He let the rabbit go. "I can't get distracted," he thought, pushing forward. On the outskirts of town, a group of hikers noticed the wandering dog. "Look at him," one said, pointing. "He's blind. Poor thing must be lost." They gathered around, their faces a mixture of pity and admiration. One woman knelt down, reaching out a hand. "Hey there, buddy," she cooed softly. "Are you looking for someone?" Max paused momentarily, drawn to her soothing voice, but then the scent of Sarah pulled him back. He moved on, and the hikers watched in silence, exchanging worried glances. "He's not looking for food," one of them remarked. "He's on a mission." As the sun began to dip lower in the sky, Max pressed on, fatigue creeping into his limbs. The path grew rougher, the terrain more challenging. He stumbled over rocks and roots, but each time he fell he picked himself back up. The echoes of laughter from the past fueled his resolve. Meanwhile, in a nearby town, Sarah lay in a hospital bed, her heart heavy with worry. She missed Max more than words could express. "I hope he's okay," she whispered to the nurse who stood by her side. The nurse smiled gently. "I'm sure he's waiting for you, Sarah." Dogs have a way of finding their way back to the ones they love. Back on the journey, Max encountered a small stream. He hesitated at the edge, the sound of rushing water filling his ears. He could smell the coolness of the water, but fear gripped him. With a deep breath, he took a leap of faith, splashing into the cold stream. The shock of the water jolted him, but he pushed through, using instinct to guide him to the other side. Emerging from the water, Max shook off the droplets, determination reigniting his spirit. As he continued, the sun began to set, painting the sky in hues of orange and pink. The shadows grew longer, and the world around him faded into twilight. As he stumbled into what appeared to be a small, wooded area, he heard voices. Two men were sitting by a campfire, their laughter echoing through the trees. "Look at that dog," one said, pointing at Max. "He's lost, poor thing." "What's he looking for?" "Maybe he's searching for his owner," the other suggested, concern etched on his face. "We should help him." Max paused, sensing their presence. They approached slowly, speaking softly. "Hey there, buddy," one of them called gently. "Are you lost?" Max could sense their kindness, and for a moment he thought about stopping. But the thought of Sarah pushed him forward. He had come too far to turn back now. As the night deepened, Max pressed on through the thickening darkness. The sounds of the forest surrounded him, each rustle and whisper heightening his senses. He was weary, but he couldn't stop. Love was his compass, guiding him through the night. If this story is touching your heart, make sure to comment from where you are hearing this amazing story. With every step, Max's resolve grew stronger. He was not just a blind dog wandering through the night. He was a beacon of hope. A testament to the love that transcends all barriers. His journey was not just about finding Sarah, it was about proving that love knows no bounds, that true devotion can light the way even in the darkest of times. As the moon rose high in the sky, illuminating his path, Max continued forward, his heart filled with hope. He could almost feel Sarah's presence drawing him near, urging him on. The journey was far from over, but with each step, he was closer to the reunion that would inspire everyone who heard their story. As Max moved deeper into the woods, the cool night air wrapped around him like a thick blanket. The moon shone overhead, casting silvery light through the branches, guiding him through the darkness. He could hear the rustling of leaves and the distant hoot of an owl, but his mind was focused solely on one thing, finding Sarah. Suddenly, a low growl echoed through the trees, causing Max to halt in his tracks. His heart raced as he turned his head towards the sound. There, emerging from the shadows, was a large wolf, its eyes glinting with curiosity. Max felt a shiver run down his spine, but he stood his ground, determined not to be deterred by fear. As the wolf approached, it sniffed the air, its gaze fixed on Max. For a moment they locked eyes, and Max saw something unexpected in the wolf's demeanor, not malice but a sense of understanding. The wolf seemed to sense Max's intent, recognizing the bond that drove him forward. "What are you doing out here, little one?" the wolf said, its voice deep and resonant. "You're far from home, and it's dangerous to travel alone." Max's heart raced, both from fear and from the unexpected encounter. "I'm looking for my owner, Sarah," he replied, his voice trembling. "I need to find her. She's in trouble." The wolf tilted its head, considering Max's words. "I have seen many animals wander these woods, but none have ventured with such purpose. Tell me more about this bond you share." Max paused, reflecting on the love he had for Sarah. "She's my everything. I've been with her since I was just a pup. She loves me and I love her. I can't just sit idly by while she's in pain. I have to find her." The wolf's expression softened. Love is a powerful force indeed. It can propel us through the darkest of times. But do you truly believe she is in danger? Or is that a fear you carry within you? Max considered the wolf's question. His heart ached with uncertainty. "I know she's in a hospital far away. I can't shake the feeling that she needs me. What if she's scared? What if she thinks I've abandoned her?" The wolf nodded, a knowing look in its eyes. Our fears can often cloud our judgment. But sometimes, the greatest act of love is to trust that those we care for can find their way, even if we are not by their side. Max felt a wave of emotion wash over him. He had been so focused on his quest that he hadn't considered that Sarah might be strong too. "But I can't abandon her. I must keep going." The wolf studied him for a moment, then lifted its head, sensing something in the air. "Listen closely, Max. There is a path ahead that could lead you closer to your owner, but it is fraught with challenges. You must be willing to face your deepest fears and let go of the assumption that you are alone in this journey." Max's ears perked up at the mention of a path. "What do you mean? How can I find it?" "The scent of your owner is carried on the wind," the wolf explained. "But you must trust your instincts. Let go of the fear that binds you. The path will reveal itself only when you embrace your own strength." With that, the wolf turned and padded away, disappearing into the shadows. Max stood still for a moment, contemplating the creature's words. He felt a shift within him, a flicker of hope igniting his heart. Taking a deep breath, he closed his eyes and focused on the scent of Sarah. Memories flooded his mind, the warmth of her embrace, the sound of her laughter, the way her voice soothed him in times of fear. He felt an overwhelming surge of love, a connection that transcended distance and darkness. As he opened his eyes, he felt a renewed sense of purpose. The night was still dark, but he could sense the light of dawn approaching. He took a step forward, trusting his instincts, allowing the scent to guide him. Suddenly, a glimmer of light appeared in the distance. Max's heart raced with excitement. Could it be? Was he finally getting closer to Sarah? He quickened his pace, weaving through the trees, feeling the ground beneath his paws shift and change. As he approached the light, he realized it was a clearing. The soft glow illuminated a small cabin nestled among the trees. Max could hear muffled voices coming from inside. His heart leaped with hope. Could Sarah be in there? With a surge of energy he pressed on, but just as he reached the cabin, a man stepped out, blocking his path. He was rugged and scruffy, a backpack slung over his shoulder. "Hey, what are you doing here, pup?" he asked, squinting at Max. Max barked, trying to communicate his urgency. "I'm looking for my owner. I need to find Sarah." The man's expression shifted from annoyance to concern. "Your owner? Is she in trouble?" Max nodded vigorously, sensing the man's hesitation. "Yes, I have to find her. She's sick and I know she needs me." The man's eyes softened. "I understand. I've seen a lot of animals out here, but I've never seen one so determined. You remind me of my own dog. She used to follow me everywhere until..." He trailed off, pain flickering across his face. "What happened?" Max asked, feeling a pang of empathy. "She got lost during a storm and I never found her. I've been searching for her ever since," the man said, his voice thick with emotion. In that moment, Max recognized the shared bond between them. "But you mustn't lose hope. Love can guide us back to those we care for, even when the path seems impossible." The man stared at Max, a spark of realization igniting in his eyes. "You're right. I've let my fear hold me back. If you're willing to continue your journey, then so will I. Let's find your owner together." Max felt a rush of gratitude. This man could be the ally he needed. As they set off together, the bond of shared purpose began to form, a testament to the strength that love can inspire, even among strangers. As they navigated the woods, Max realized that the journey he had embarked on was not just about finding Sarah. It was about understanding the depth of love, the importance of trusting one another, and the power of hope that unites us all. The night may have been dark, but with each step forward, Max felt the light of dawn breaking on the horizon, a reminder that they were not alone, and that together they could face whatever lay ahead. As Max and the rugged man ventured deeper into the woods, a new sense of hope blossomed between them, two souls united by a shared mission. The man, whose name was Jake, had become an unexpected ally. And with every step they took, Max felt the warmth of camaraderie growing. The moonlight illuminated their path, casting shimmering reflections on the leaves, creating a surreal atmosphere around them. "Do you really think we can find her?" Jake asked, glancing down at Max, who was leading the way with unwavering determination. Max nodded, his heart pounding in his chest. "I have to believe that we can. Sarah needs me." They walked in silence for a while, the sounds of the forest enveloping them. The distant call of an owl, the rustle of leaves, and the soft crunch of twigs underfoot were the only reminders of the world around them. But Max's focus remained steadfast, driven by the love he felt for Sarah. As dawn began to break, the first rays of sunlight filtered through the branches, casting a golden hue over the landscape. Max felt invigorated by the light, a symbol of the hope that still flickered within him. He paused for a moment, taking a deep breath, inhaling the familiar scent of wildflowers mingling with the crisp morning air. "Can you smell that?" Jake asked, his voice filled with wonder. "It smells like spring." With a wag of his tail, Max replied, "I smell Sarah. I know she's close." Fueled by instinct, Max picked up the pace, leading Jake through the underbrush. They navigated over fallen branches and pushed through thick shrubs, their bond growing stronger with each obstacle they overcame. Suddenly, as they rounded a bend, they heard the unmistakable sound of voices, familiar, soothing, and filled with warmth. Max's heart skipped a beat. He recognized that voice. It was Sarah. "Max. Max." Sarah's voice called out, laced with a blend of hope and despair. With renewed energy, Max bolted toward the sound, Jake following closely behind. They emerged from the trees into a clearing where a small group had gathered. In the center stood Sarah, pale and fragile but filled with determination. The sight of her sent a surge of joy through Max's heart. "Sarah," he barked, his voice breaking through the air like a beacon of love. Their eyes met, and in that instant time seemed to stand still. Sarah knelt down, tears streaming down her face. "Oh, my sweet Max. You found me." Max rushed toward her. Leaping into her arms, his tail wagging furiously. The world around them faded as they shared a moment that transcended words. A reunion forged by love and resilience. Jake stepped back, allowing the emotional moment to unfold. He felt a bittersweet pang in his heart, recalling his own lost dog. But witnessing the bond between Max and Sarah reignited a flicker of hope within him. As Sarah held Max close, she whispered, "I knew you would come for me. I never stopped believing." Max licked her face, his heart swelling with love. He had crossed miles and faced unimaginable challenges, all for this moment of connection. After a few moments, Sarah turned to Jake, gratitude shining in her eyes. "Thank you for helping my boy find me. I don't know how I can ever repay you." Jake smiled, his heart warmed by the sight of their reunion. "You don't have to. Just knowing I played a part in this is enough. Love is a powerful thing. Isn't it?" As the sun rose higher in the sky, casting its golden rays upon them, the small group of onlookers began to clap, moved by the emotional scene. "What a beautiful story," one said. "This needs to be shared." It was a moment that would ripple through the community, a story of love, resilience, and the unbreakable bond between a dog and his owner. Max had not only found Sarah but had also inspired those around him, reminding everyone of the power of hope and determination. Sarah, still clutching Max tightly, looked around at the gathering crowd. "Let's share our story," she said, her voice steady. "Let's remind people that no matter how lost we may feel, love can always guide us home." And so, the tale of Max and Sarah began to spread like wildfire. Videos of their reunion went viral, touching hearts across the globe. People shared stories of their own pets, their own struggles, and the unwavering love that kept them going. In the days that followed, Sarah's health improved, and she returned home with Max by her side. The two became a symbol of resilience in their town, their story serving as a reminder that love knows no bounds. Jake, inspired by his encounter with Max and Sarah, began volunteering at local animal shelters, helping to reunite lost pets with their owners. Max, now a local hero, continued to inspire those around him. His journey sparked a movement, pet adoption drives, awareness campaigns about animal welfare, and community events that celebrated the bond between humans and animals. As for Max and Sarah, their days were filled with laughter, love, and endless adventures. They explored the world together, each day a testament to the profound connection they shared. No longer just a blind dog searching for his owner, Max had become a beacon of hope, teaching everyone that love indeed conquers all. If this story is touching your heart, make sure to subscribe for more incredible stories like this one. In a world often filled with darkness, Max and Sarah stood as a reminder that the light of love can guide us through any storm, illuminating the path back to those we cherish most. Their bond was not just a story, it was a legacy of hope that would inspire generations to come.